Imagine being able to express yourself as well as a native speaker. There's only one way to achieve that goal, and it's through comprehensible input. Nobody has ever become fluent in a language by studying flashcards and textbooks. And if you're asking yourself, why should I listen to you? That's a fair question, and the answer is, porque hace 3 años yo no sabía ni una palabra en español. O sea, yo no podía ni decir adiós. Pero hoy en día, gracias al input comprensible, yo he podido llegar a tal nivel en el que yo puedo vivir en México. Literalmente estoy viviendo en México. Y yo puedo hablar con la gente. Y mira que no estoy leyendo ningún guión ni nada. O sea, literalmente te estoy hablando como si estuviéramos teniendo una conversación en la vida real. And I was able to do that thanks to comprehensible input. So without any further ado, what the heck is comprehensible input? Comprehensible input is the content that you consume that you understand more than 70% of, even if you don't know many of the words. You can understand comprehensible input because of the context, whether that be gestures, movements with the hand or body, pictures, or just general situations that happen in every country. Like, for example, if I say a random word and I do this, you will probably assume that it means hello, and you would probably be right. You see, this is exactly how we learned our native languages when we were just kids. When you were a baby, you would see your father or your mother wave to you and say, hello, or whatever hello is in your language. And you eventually assumed that this is how you greet somebody. This is comprehensible input. And so, how can we use comprehensible input when learning a new language? I'm going to give you in this section all of the tactics and methods that I used to get fluent in Spanish through comprehensible input. Comprehensible input for beginners. If you're a beginner, I suggest that you start journaling. Now, your journal entries will have to be a little bit basic. However, you can use Google Translate to translate a journal entry from your mother tongue to English, and then you write it down and read it. If you want to know my specific journaling method, then click on the video. It'll be up here somewhere and in the description. Number 2, use YouTube. There's tons of comprehensible input channels on YouTube, such as this one. However, if you need something more basic, go to the description and I will link the best channels for basic comprehensible input. Number 3, start using Busuu. Now, Busuu has never paid me, not even 1 cent, to talk about their platform. I just generally believe it is one of the best free courses that we can get. So much better than Duolingo. And if you're asking, how could you consider Busuu comprehensible input? The answer is simple. There are many texts and audios that you will have to review, that you will have to listen to. And Busuu will make it comprehensible by giving you context about what you will be hearing. But just remember, you need to use Busuu with other methods. One method will never lead you to fluency. You need multiple forms of input. Next is YouTube with translated lyrics. I have used this method for years, and it has helped me learn thousands of words in Spanish, French, and Indonesian. The only problem is you need to have a song that's well known so that Google will have the lyrics on the front page. So here's an example. Check this out. The first song I ever studied Spanish with was called Adiós Amor by Christian Nodal. Let's look it up on Google, and boom, look what comes up. It's right here on the front page. So we're gonna hit translate. Now we have both the English and the Spanish lyrics here. Do this and it will hopefully show you your mother tongue along with the English lyrics. And you can read the lyrics in your mother tongue first and then review them and compare them with the lyrics in English. Why do I tell you to read the lyrics in your mother tongue first? Well, so that you can make the lyrics comprehensible when you try to read them in your target language, which is English. So you get the context first. What do the lyrics mean in general? And then you try and read the lyrics in English. And the great thing about comprehensible input is that it's a snowball effect. Whenever you learn 100 words, it becomes easier to learn 10 more from those 100 words. And when you learn 1,000 words, it'll be way easier to learn 100 new words without studying, and etc. So comprehensible input for intermediates, B1 and B2 learners. Journal, but make your journal entries a little bit more complicated than you could write them yourself. Number 2, YouTube. Start watching some native content. You can still watch some comprehensible input. That's great. But also try and start watching native content, especially if you're on the higher end of the B2 level. Of course, start this as soon as you can understand a decent amount of native content. If it's not somewhat comprehensible, then you'll kind of just be wasting your time. So start that whenever you think you're ready. And of course, Busuu has the intermediate English. B1 and B2, I certainly recommend that you study their course. Now, also, you can study music. However, find more complicated songs than you were listening to at the beginner stages. For me, this has been rap. Rap in Spanish and French have taught me so many words because each song has way more words and also way more complicated words. Next, start reading books if you're at the B2 level. Try and find a storybook that might be made for people between the ages of 12 and 14. The first book that I read in Spanish with the B2 level was Nosotros en la Luna. And I remember that I was very fascinated by the book. And it led me to reading it 3 times, which helped me learn a ton of vocabulary. And obviously, that vocabulary has helped me today be able to read more complicated books. Next, find a language partner. You can do this on HelloTalk, Tandem, or Italki. Trust me, you will learn vocabulary a lot faster if you're having conversations in the language. Now you have 2 options. You can download HelloTalk or Tandem and try and find a language partner for free. And I suggest that you try it. However, the chances are you will have a very hard time trying to find someone who will consistently practice with you. So if you have some money to spend on learning English, then I suggest you get a private tutor through Italki. That way, you won't waste a bunch of time and energy trying to find someone to talk to. And if you would like that, in the description, you will get a $10 gift just for signing up to Italki and scheduling your first tutor session. And lastly, if you can, travel to an English-speaking country. This is like the most helpful thing ever. In my experience, I went to Panama for 1 month about a year and a half ago, and I went there with a B2 level, and I came back with a C1 level. It's like I said, once you're at that higher intermediate stage, talking with real people is essential for progress. So traveling to an English-speaking country can absolutely change the trajectory of your learning journey. And lastly, if you are at the advanced level, C1, C2, you probably already know that comprehensible input is the most important. So just continue watching native content, whether that be movies, TV shows, or YouTube videos, and find yourself a good friend or tutor that you can speak with constantly in English. Just because you've reached the advanced level does not mean that the equation has changed. It is still the same. Listen to something slightly above your level and you will acquire vocabulary. So remember, the easiest way to learn a language is the same way we did it as children. Listen to content in English that is slightly above your level, and you will quickly acquire vocabulary and progress with your level of English. And I promise you, if you stay on this path, you will be successful in becoming fluent in English. It was wonderful seeing you again, friend. Have an incredible week. Goodbye.